Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're retackling a massive question that's on a lot of our minds. Is renting still the best choice for you in 2026? It feels like just yesterday everyone was telling us that buying a house was the only way to build wealth. But the world has changed so much, and the old rules might not apply anymore. Let's be real, the decision to rent or buy is one of the biggest financial choices you'll ever make. It's not just about money, it's about your lifestyle, your career, and your future. So, let's break it down together. Look at the pros and cons for 2026 and figure out what really makes sense for you right now. First, let's talk about why so many of us are still renting. The biggest, most obvious benefit is flexibility. Imagine you get an incredible job offer, but it's on the other side of the country. If you're renting, you can just pack up and go once your lease is up. Maybe you're not even sure where you want to live in the long term. Renting lets you test out different neighborhoods, or even different cities, without the massive commitment of a mortgage. Think of it like dating a city before you marry it. This freedom is priceless, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s and your career path is still taking shape. You're not tied down to one location for the next 15 or 30 years. Another huge plus for renting is the minimal upfront cost. To buy a house, you need a down payment, which in 2026 can be a staggering amount of money. We're talking tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on where you live. For most people, saving that kind of cash takes years. When you rent, you typically just need the first month's rent and a security deposit. This makes housing much more accessible and allows you to move into a place you love much sooner. That money you would have used for a down payment can be invested elsewhere, maybe in stocks, a business idea, or even just in your own education to increase your earning potential. And let's not forget about maintenance. When you're a renter and the dishwasher breaks, who do you call? The landlord. When the roof starts leaking during a storm, the landlord. When the water heater decides to give up in the middle of winter, you guessed it, the landlord. All these unexpected, and often very expensive, repairs are not your problem. Homeownership means you are the landlord, and you're on the hook for every single one of those costs. These repairs can pop up at the worst times and completely derail your budget. As a renter, you have predictable monthly housing costs, which makes financial planning a whole lot easier. You pay your rent, and that's it. No surprise $5,000 bill for a new AC unit. So, with all these amazing benefits, why would anyone even consider buying? Well, the conversation gets interesting here. The traditional argument for buying has always been about building equity. When you pay your rent, that money is gone forever. You're paying your landlord's mortgage. When you pay your own mortgage, a portion of that payment goes towards paying off the loan, building your ownership stake in the property. It's like a forced savings account. Over time, as you pay down your mortgage and as the property value hopefully increases, you're building wealth. This equity can be a powerful financial tool later in life. You can borrow against it for other investments, use it to fund your retirement, or eventually sell the house for a profit. Another major emotional and financial benefit of owning is stability. As a homeowner, you have control. You can paint the walls any color you want, renovate the kitchen, plant a garden, and truly make the space your own without asking for permission. There's no landlord who can suddenly decide to sell the property, forcing you to move. There is no risk of your rent being jacked up by an unreasonable amount at the end of your lease. This sense of security and permanence is something many people crave, especially if they're starting a family or want to put down roots in a community. Knowing that your home is your own provides a level of peace of mind that renting simply can't offer. Plus, let's talk about the numbers. While mortgage payments can be high, they are often stable. If you get a fixed-rate mortgage, your principal and interest payment will not change for the entire life of the loan. Rents, on the other hand, almost always go up. Over 10, 20, or 30 years, that fixed mortgage payment can start to look incredibly affordable compared to the ever-increasing market rents. And let's not forget the tax benefits. In many places, homeowners can deduct their mortgage interest and property taxes from their income, which can lead to significant savings every year. These financial perks can add up and make owning a home a very smart long-term financial strategy. Okay, so we've laid out the classic arguments, but we're talking about 2026. The world is different. The rise of remote work has completely changed the game. You're no longer tied to living in a high-cost of a living city just for a job. This means you could potentially buy a home in a more affordable area while still earning a high salary. This could dramatically shift the rent versus buy calculation for a lot of people. Suddenly, that dream of homeownership might be within reach in a way it wasn't before. However, we also have to be realistic about the current market. Interest rates have been a roller coaster, and property values in many areas are still incredibly high. It's crucial to run the numbers for your specific situation. Don't just rely on what your parents did or what a friend is doing. Use an online rent versus buy calculator. Plug in the local property taxes, insurance costs, potential maintenance expenses, and the current mortgage rates. Compare that total monthly cost of owning to what you would pay in rent for a similar property. Often you'll find that for the first few years, renting is actually cheaper. The financial benefits of owning only start to kick in after you've stayed in the home for a certain number of years, often 5 to 7 years or more. So, how do you decide what's right for you in 2026? It comes down to 3 key things: your finances, your career, and your lifestyle. Financially, do you have a stable income and a significant down payment saved up? Have you accounted for all the hidden costs of ownership, like property taxes, insurance, and maintenance? Remember, being house poor, where all your money goes into your house, is not a fun way to live. Second, think about your career. Are you settled in your job and city, or do you anticipate moving in the next 5 years? If there's a high chance you'll relocate, renting almost always makes more sense. Selling a house is expensive and time-consuming, and if you have to sell quickly, you could even lose money. Finally, consider your lifestyle. Do you value the freedom and flexibility to move and travel? Or do you crave the stability and control of owning your own space? There's no right or wrong answer here. It's deeply personal. Some people feel trapped by a mortgage, while others feel unsettled without one. Be honest with yourself about what kind of life you want to lead. In conclusion, the debate isn't about whether renting or buying is universally better. It's about which option is better for you at this specific point in your life. In the economic climate of 2026, renting offers incredible flexibility and lower upfront costs, making it a smart choice for those who are mobile or still building their savings. Buying offers stability and the potential for long-term wealth creation, making it ideal for those who are ready to settle down and take on the responsibilities of ownership. Don't let anyone pressure you into a decision. Take your time, do your research, be honest with yourself about your goals, and make the choice that aligns with your vision for your future. Whether you're signing a lease or signing a mortgage, the most important thing is that you feel confident and secure in your decision. What are your thoughts? Are you team rent or team buy for 2026? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences and perspectives. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.